He walks over while I'm outside with Nikki. You better help me with this one. You are never allowed, and I looked him straight in the eyes, on my property. Okay, Frankie, I got one for you you're not going to believe.
Okay.
So, you know how I've been borrowing my neighbor all my tools?
Yeah.
Trying to get on his good side.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I borrowed him my electric wheel power wheelbarrow for like 10 days. And I had to take it from my crew. My guys were using the electric wheelbarrow out on a job. And my neighbor needed it, so I took it from him and I let him use it to move. He had a load of dirt. I didn't offer my loader, but I offered him my wheelbarrow. Offered him a load of dirt. And then he had I got a stump grinder because I was grinding up some stumps in my yard, and his yard was littered with stumps. And I'm like, hey, do you need any help grinding out some of those stumps? And he's like, yeah. And he thought I was going to go do it for him. And I said, I'll show you how to use my stump grinder. And he kind of stands back and looks at me. And I'm like, no, it's a lot of fun, easy to use, and you can have at it. Just, you can grind stumps all day long. He ground stumps for 3 days. Right. That's how many stumps he had. And then he went over and ground my other neighbor's stumps with my stump grinder.
Yeah. I suppose you filled it up too.
No, he did put gas in it on his bed, because I'm like, that's a lot of stump grinding. He filled it up. Well, I get a text message before I'm even awake. Stan, are you going to clean up those leaves in your yard, or do you need me to have the city help you clean them up for you?
Wow. After you borrowed them, your machine and everything.
Oh my God, Frankie, I was livid. I could not believe that this guy had the audacity and nerve to do it. And I'm sitting and holding on to my phone, and I'm like, do you want me to have the city come over and help you paint your tri-colored crack-looking house? Because it looks like a freaking crack house. Right. Do you want me to have the city help you get your two roofs that are two different colors blended together? Do you want me to have the city take your windows, which are all different colors, on your entire house and get them all matched? Do you want me to have the city help you paint the rest of your house? Because his house is...
Right.
I mean, he works on it 24/7, but he does nothing around it. I think he just walks around because he's bored or something.
Right.
I said nothing, Frankie. I didn't say a darn tootin' word. And I was out in the yard with Nikki. And we were looking at the leaves. And I'm like, yeah, we got to get these cleaned up. And then...
Well, we always planned to clean them up, but just we never had time yet. It just wasn't on our, to-do list at the time.
Yeah. Well, because the leaves are here for you guys, so you know, because this insulates the sewer line, right?
Yep.
So we put them down every fall, pick them up he walks over. He walks over while I'm outside with Nikki and says, did you get my text message? And I had not responded, and I'm just like, and I told Nikki, I'm like, you better help me with this one. And I'm like, yes, I got your text message. And he's like, well, what are you going to do about it? I says, we're working on it. Don't you worry about it. And he says, when's it going to be cleaned up? I want to come over and see it.
Wow. Wow, no way.
What would you have done at that point, Frankie?
Done a little bit of time.
Oh my God. And finally, the cork popped on me. I just like, no, you don't have to ever worry about seeing the leaves on my property ever again, because I do not want you ever on my property. And Nikki's like, oh my God. And he's like, what? And I says, you are never allowed, and I looked him straight in the eyes, on my property. I do not want you on my land.
Right.
And that was the nicest freaking version of, I wanted to take. That was the best I could do.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that's a lot more than most people would have done.
But at this point, we got to get these cleaned up anyway, so we might as well do it.
Yeah, I mean, there ain't much left. I mean, just the idea of getting them picked up.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm going to go grab the Mini.
Okay.
Zach, you got fuel in that thing yet? All right. We'll throw it in the Mini and
go from there.
I'll bring it across to the farm, and we'll get a big giant burn pile going.
All right.
Well, why do you have auto grease gun compared to manual one when you're going to eventually run out of battery power and then you're dead in the water and you can't do anything out in the field? It's like,
how many machines do you grease at once?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, how do you end up with a dead battery? Like, unless you have like the 2 amp hour battery or whatever that they give you it to begin with, I can see that not being dead the next day.
Or you're trying to grease up a line of equipment from here to across the lake.
Pumping out grease, or it's empty? No, yeah, it's still pumping out. Isn't that amazing? Oh, listen to the sound. It's so amazing. Somewhere else where I can't see it. Oh, I'm pumping a bunch in there. Yeah, like each tire has like 4.
Each tire, yep. Yep, and you got to grease those quite often, unfortunately, because they are a manual. It has a manual, what do you call that? All-wheel steer, but it's manual. So it actually has like a, that's a real thing.
Go back to the trucks that have two stick shifts.
I drove one of those. 20 different gears you had to choose from. It was a Mack. I got screwed on that truck. You ever had a truck that had 5 gears in reverse?
No.
Yeah, I had
lift it up so that way, because
I had a Mack that had 5 freaking gears in reverse. You can still reach?
Yeah, I can still reach. Pumping out grease, or it's empty? No, yeah, it's still pumping out.
Zach, when you crawl under that boom like that, you know, you make me really freaking nervous.
Oh, it's a brand new machine.
That's an easy way to save your life. Right?
That's why I want a wing nut on that dang thing. Because it's just a normal bolt.
No, it's not a normal bolt. It's a freaking threaded.
Nylon threaded.
A few years back, I bought my first cast loader. Now this one is my second one, and it actually came with a hitch installed on it. If you own acreage, a cast mini loader, for me at least, has been the best machine that I've ever owned. I've owned skid loaders and everything else. The beauty about these cast loaders is they don't tear up any turf, and they've got an extended boom so you can load trucks, you can use it as a loader, you can grade with it. It's so versatile. It has been the best blessing that I've ever discovered for a large acreage property. If there's only one piece of equipment, I would say to anybody that owns acreage, get one of these.
No, not at all. It's as dry as it is the Sahara Desert.
You are just a snarky little guy today, aren't you? You are a snark master. Snarky Jackie.
ain't gonna get it all underneath it because you have the bucket on half of it, but at least we got most of
I
the
know,
leaves
but
on
if
it.
you can hold right here, I'll tilt the bucket back. And then just be careful, I don't want to land it on your toes. So just drop it, just keep your toes and the non-squish going.
You ain't gonna crush my toes, these are steel toes.
Yeah, I don't want to try.
Yeah, no, let's not try, but...
More?
Yeah, go more.
What?
Maybe they didn't have a grabber.
Oh, for the mini loader?
Well, we do, technically it's stuck.
So we're gonna switch gears next year. We're not using hay, we're not using leaves. We're gonna get some concrete blankets in here. We're gonna cover this whole area up, because otherwise the septic system freezes up.
Well, it might have, might not have, it might have just been something.
You know, we're gonna take that cover off after you get that dug out a little bit and just look in there and see how full we are.
Okay.
Cause I've never known if that ever works yet, you know?
Going up?
Pump system.
Oh, really?
I know it's plugged in, but who knows if it's even working?
Yeah, no.
You know, I mean, I really don't know.
No, that's not our area
But there's
of expertise.
another button on there. You can do a test alarm or something, or a test
Yes.
deal. We can do that just to see
Yeah,
if the you know,
if we're actually pumping up.
right.
And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect this gray water into the system, so we're good. So, all right, let's get the rest of this filled up and we'll go from there. right, well, we got her looking good, and I know I can already hear some of you guys telling me you would have never cleaned the leaves up to appease the neighbor, and that is not why we did it. We did it because we had to get at some plumbing issues that we're having underneath there. We've got to fix it. So, in fact, I even can maybe hear some of you guys going, I would have added more leaves to it. and you know what? Maybe you would. We're actually working, Frankie and Zach and I have been working for 3 years on this property, trying to convert it and get it ready to be rented as an Airbnb. I've never done anything like that. Never. And so I'll just give you a real quick tour of what we've done. This entire cabin was completely rebuilt. And then we hand milled all of these logs. Some of you guys have been following along on it. So actually the idea is I'm gonna rent this one out and that one together as a package. So 2 families could come in, sleep like 12. I think what I wanna do in this one is I want to put a big giant, it's dirty in here right now, American flag up on this wall. I'm going to call this cabin the Patriot. Absolutely. So here she is. If you guys have any advice or opinions on Airbnb, I know nothing about it, I will gladly take it. But that's all we've got for you on today's video. Hope your neighbors are a lot better to you than some of mine seem to be. That's it for this one. God bless. Go get them. I hope whatever you're doing turns out awesome. See you guys on another one.